The financial crisis that hit the European continent in the summer of year 2008 has revealed the limits of the single currency to provide the material reward that it promised at the time of the Treaty of Maastricht in 1992. Apparently, the European citizens were told in 2008-2010 that the single currency had not been granted the necessary tools to confront the kind of crisis that affected the European banks and governments' sovereign debt at that time. The euro, we were told, had been poorly designed. This recognition of policy error should not pass unnoticed. It shows that the most trumpeted generation of pro-integration leaders, the generation of Jacques Delors, François Mitterrand, Helmut Kohl, and Felipe González, among others, did not know what they were doing or were not honest with their citizens. They presented the euro as a decisive, almost inevitable step towards a better Europe for all. The 26% general unemployment rates and the 50% youth unemployment rates that had been reached in Southern Europe in 2014 proved them wrong, fatally wrong. The response to the euro crisis has been twofold. On the one hand, at the European level, a new design for the euro area has been carried out. It has involved a more active role for the European Central Bank, the reinforcement of collective supervisory mechanisms at the macroeconomic level, and the emergence of a European banking union with common regulatory mechanism and bailout funding. Whether the combination of macroeconomic coordination, penalties for wrongdoing, and the banking union will be enough to confront future crises within the Eurozone remains to be seen. Will the reinforced Stability and Growth Pact success where, in 2005, Eurozone member states, including Germany, were able to disregard macroeconomic coordination and switch off the penalties? The banking union, which will still take 20 years to be a reality if the present policy planning is respected, which I very much doubt it will, has been presented in public opinion terms with the same messianic language used for the euro in the early 1990s. On the other hand, we have seen the bailout programs in most northern European member states. National banks holding toxic assets were bailed out by the national governments, and the bill passed on to national taxpayers. This was the case of the United Kingdom and the Netherlands, among others. In the cases of Ireland, Cyprus, and Spain, the banking bailouts produced such a deterioration in public finances that the whole country was drained into a problem of solvency. The question of solvency also affected countries like Portugal due to the long persistence of lack growth, or Greece due to the lack of credibility of its ruling political elite. Whatever might have been the origin of the circumstances eroding the market credibility, the fact is that for a country bailout, the solution came via the European Union, but only after following intergovernmental procedures. The European Parliament was kept completely aloof, which would have not been the case in a supranational program. The emergency rescue operations reinforced the intergovernmental nature of the Union. The bailouts, which were supervised by a troika, that is, the Commission, the European Central Bank, and the International Monetary Fund had a strong conditionality attached to them. The outcome of this process was that the bailouts of several members of the Eurozone prevented sovereign or banking insolvency, but led to a growing disillusionment both with established political parties and with the European Union in general. At this point in time, we could ascertain that the Euro project is out of immediate peril, but the whole European Union project is very much in danger of collapse given the widespread lack of popular support.